Hello, welcome back to the Let's Play of Arcanum. Now, after a long pause, let's get on with the plot. Since our character has got a few 2 points in persuasion, we can actually talk her way inside. I wouldn't know how to do it without a few points in charisma. Now, the Orcish race needs to have the persuasion points since any other class can easily duct away inside. Racial prejudice, I suppose. Now, again, line to be and part of the authorities has worked as in a previous quest before, and I'm pretty sure that this is not the last time we're going to see that particular lie in action. As I have recalled before, we have got ourselves a flow spectrometer, a pretty invaluable item that can also work as a shield. Our defense rating has increased from 18 to 22 by merely equipping it, but it is also it also drains our batteries upon use. The battery the battery meter does not stop in the middle of the combat. That's even if it's turn-based. The basic mechanic is that it will keep on draining as long as we have it will have a passive effect as long as we have batteries within our inventory and we have that piece of equipment on ourselves. But even without the batteries, the ammunition so to speak, the passive effect to our defense rating will still stay as it is. The same thing happens with our chapeau of magnetic inversion. If we had batteries on our persona while having that hat equipped, then it would have bonus to our deflection. Now the flux spectrometer helps us find traps as long as we have equipped. Any tile, any barrel chest that has got a trap will be identified upon contact. Now, Magnus here can make trap springers for us, which are one-time use items that will remove any single trap from any tile that we may find. It's partially the reason why we have our dwarven friend with us, besides plot reasons. Now, the trap springer eliminates any single trap regardless of difficulty. Now the P.Schuyler and Sons is a 3-level dungeon, pretty much the first one that you encounter that could be qualified as a real dungeon, with an end boss, plot reasons to go there, enemies adjusted and the enemies are not adjusted to scale. I think no enemies adjusted to scale in this game, but still, it's fairly straightforward. There are no dead ends, and as you will see, the next plot dungeon in the game is decidedly far more unforgiving. We are using our fine revolver just simply because of the dexterity bonus. It has an addition. The dexterity bonus just means that we can shoot more times per round.
What do you need to know?
Now soon I will fail a trap, not intentionally, but traps vary from game to game. They're not entirely They're not really a real threat, they're just more of an annoyance, but let's just say that from a perspective, from a skill point allocation perspective, it's not really smart to put all your points into trap disarming skills, considering that best case scenario it's just a penalty to your health, and worst case scenario it's just the destruction of the equipment you're currently wearing. Again, the flow spectrometer just only works with one-handed. As any other shield in the game, it just works with single-handed weapons. Had we equipped a rifle or an axe, just a rifle, then we would not be able to wear the 4 additional points to our defense. Most of the time, it's not worth the raw materials of building a trap springer. It's not worth building a trap just for the raw materials or the raw material cost, but it's the principle of the thing. No chest left untouched. Now we see the brilliant AI in action, in which even the character that is less suited for melee has got no preservation skills and will attempt to take the bulk of the damage. Again, I believe a high charisma character, persuasive character, has got the additional challenge of having to take care of all the NPC. In any case, the zombies are not particularly dangerous. Level 3 can go down with a few bullets. Now they are far. This is just a beginner's dungeon from a perspective, from a storyline perspective. Now then, the city of Taranta already provides with far more difficult variations of undead had we decided to grind in the sewers. The sewers, I'll just leave it as a further video. I still haven't gone there, but well, it's just a major experience dump, in my opinion. Experience and item dump, since sometimes you can find, since the loot around there is semi-randomized aside from a few cursed items. Now, the importance of Magnus as a character will come here. As much as people in the community don't like it, I find him surprisingly sympathetic from a character flaw point of view. Now this place is again heavily trapped, so a bit of precaution will be quite recommended.
Gods! They're using dwarven zombies to do this grisly work! These truly are my lost people, and their resting place has been desecrated!
Yes, I agree. And I wish you'd stop going on about it, Magnus. I mean, these dwarves, even for the undead, they look a bit odd, misshapen or something. And the stonework in this tomb is atrocious. I'm not one to profane the dead, but I'd never claim these oddities as my lost people.
What? Who are you to make judgments about dwarven stonework? You're not even a dwarf, and you're bloody stupid as well. Primitive dwarves. Blah. Good. Then I can count on you to fight by my side.
Now our Magnus seems here to be he's grasping at straws. Basically, he's desperate to find his lost clan, and besides Virgil, it is one that shows the most promise of character development, at least from the sparse details of his life sprung around different corners of the game, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
What is it?
Dare you speak of treaties with these creatures? Will you ignore the crimes they have committed against my people? Does the friendship I've offered you mean anything? Fine. If I must, I will fight them, even alone. But I ask you one last time, please, join me against these monsters and help me to avenge my people. We've fought together as brothers, as friends. I've bled with you. Don't turn on me now.
The things we do for our companions. I like this scene more than I'm willing to admit. Again, one Molotov cocktail and I'm almost gone. This is the first... I don't know, it shows the promise of a good plot from my point of view. Simply because, well, you are forced to make compromises. The character Magnus doesn't really hold any allegiance to you. It was just a temporary contract to investigate the P.Schuyler and Sons establishment. But then again, he had his own reasons to raid the place, and well, he is desperate enough to believe that these dwarves are, well, these misshapen dwarves are his lost clan. So, well, you take a little bit of sympathy from him and side with him. It would be much strange had I chosen a magical, more magically inclined character, but even Even so, there's just something about about the emotional manipulation that Magnus tries to pass off that really pulls on my heartstrings. It's not a particularly deep, but it's not a it's a bit let's just say that it's shallow, but still you get to care a little bit about your character, and the decision is pretty much final. If you don't do what he asks, then it's over.
Thank you, my friend, for fighting by my side. I'd like to share something with you. My family name. The name of my family is Shale Fist, and I, Magnus Shale Fist, am grateful to you. The dwarves of this clan would also be grateful to you, were they not long dead. No, I don't think so. I so wanted to find a clue as to who or where that I came from. I don't think these dwarves are my lost clan. I won't, my friend. I guess I can keep looking, in any case. Would you mind if I continue traveling with you? That's good. You can always use a dwarf in your party. That's what I always say. You're usually the only level heads in the bunch. Yes, let's do so.
What is it that you want of me?
And with this, we even have a small emotional payout for our decision. Magnus, a stereotypical stout-headed dwarf, actually levels up with us if we choose to help him, or if we choose to massacre a seemingly innocent entrepreneur and necromancer, but mostly innocent. Well, it's fun. It's a little bit of character development. Well, not character development, but still, it's not tossed aside. It's not tossed aside for the future. It actually.
Yes, madam. What would you have me do? What can I answer for you? Tyrant? Not as much as I would like, as I didn't get out much, understandably. Some days Mr. Parnell would take me out for strolls to drum up business, though. I thoroughly enjoyed myself on those outings, as I am now. Have I mentioned how grateful I am to you for allowing me to travel with you? Oh, yes, of course. Please excuse my ramblings. Well, on the southwest side of town there's the Boil. A disgusting place, filled with orcs and other refuse. And then, of course, up in the northeast we have the upper classes. Why? Because I suffer the same indignities at the hands of civilized people? I think not. Those barely sentient monstrosities that I happen to resemble deserve their lot in life. I cannot feel remorse for them now that they're being put to work for the common good, instead of being allowed to skulk around some dungeon or to waylay passers-by. Yes, madam. What would you have me do? What can I answer for you? I've never met Mr. Bates personally. He's much too famous to walk the streets. He'd be mobbed everywhere he went. I have had rather long and boring conversations with that Appleby fellow about Mr. Bates, though. I've never seen anyone hate someone else so much in my life. Well, imagine that. I cannot rightly say. After the long, tedious hours I've sat and listened to him drone on, I still cannot tell you exactly why he hates Mr. Bates. Professional jealousy, envy, who can say? Mr. Bates is a genius and Mr. Appleby is a fool. I suppose that is reason enough. I believe he lives somewhere along Low Dervish Way in the factory district. I'm not certain, though. Yes, madam. What can I answer for you? I believe Mr. Bates resides at the northeast end of the Kensington Broadway, if I recall correctly.
How can I help you? What do you need to know? Gilbert Bates? Who doesn't know him? He invented the steam engine. For a human, he's quite a sharp fellow. Of course, the dwarves are the most skilled technologists, but everyone knows that.